think it's set a goal, enjoy that little goal, and then set the next one, and just constantly kind of be like leapfrogging where you think you should be.
Yeah.
But again, it's like not being disappointed with not reaching. Like it's all good either way.
100%. And even like the learning of that, like I know now I'm like, if I have a big goal, like I will go for that big goal. Like I won't let anyone pull me back on that. Or when I'm teaching, I'm like, no, you aim for the stars. Like, because I just think it's going to drive you more. And I think, I don't know, the way that I look at it, I'm just like, I don't want people to pull back on their dreams because they think they can't achieve it.
You gotta protect them.
Yeah. You can achieve anything that you want to achieve.
And just telling people that they can. Like me and my friend were talking about this today, how they went sub 2 hours for a marathon.
Yeah.
And I think another guy just broke that as well. Wow. And it's that thing that once someone knows something's possible, they find that extra little 5% within themselves to go, well, I can do that. And I think when you see people start to win, they continue to win because they're like, oh, it's possible. And I think if you have the belief as a coach, and I'd always tell kids that I'd help, I'd be like, you can do that. Why can't you do that? And then they start believing it themselves. Like I've helped kids, and I think the biggest lesson, the water bottle's there. I think the biggest lesson that I give to them, because they always get better, and I'm like, I help them a little bit with their skill, help them a little bit with like their bike setup and whatnot. But the biggest thing I put into them is belief.
Yeah.
It's like you have someone that's done what you want to do and tells you that you can. They suddenly go, I can. And that will find those extra gears that they never thought they had. But it's like you're saying, it's like that feeling of you've got to protect your own beliefs, because people always try and rip them down or say, hey, you can't do that. Yeah. How many people say you can't do something because they can't? It's just a reflection of themselves onto you. And you're like, just because you can't do it doesn't mean I can't. But it's even to that point, it's like who you share your dreams with or who you share your ambitions with is so important, because whether it's a good or bad response, it's still going to affect how you look at it.
Definitely. And that coach who told us that, she didn't make podium when she went to Worlds.
Yeah.
And so like no one from Australia has, so why would I, type of situation. So, and I always think like, okay, if she had never said that and we had still aimed for podium, what would that have looked like? Because our mindset going into finals, I tell you right now, would have been so different. We would have pushed that a little bit harder at training. We would have done a bit of extra that night before. But I also wouldn't change it, because now I have that knowledge and that experience to now teach others.
It's like they almost, like the whole tell me I can't thing.
Yeah.
It's almost they want to like piss you off, but sometimes it doesn't piss people off. It just puts them down.
Yeah.
To go, oh yeah, you're right.
And I think as any young kid or any young athlete, all they want is belief from someone else. So like my coaches always knew I'd get to Worlds. And so having their belief in me was enough for me to be like, yeah, of course I'm going to make it. And so I think it's like if you're coaching younger athletes, well, like I am now, like I always want to be able to, I always show that I can believe in them, because I know what it meant to me to see my coaches believe in me. And it's like when you're young and you're learning everything, you might not always believe in yourself because you don't really know what you're capable of. But as a coach, I can see someone's capabilities before they can. So as soon as I can show that I believe in them, they're like, oh, I can actually do that. And then they prove to themselves that they can do it.
It's a cool thing when you see the lights come on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, I can do the things that you've been telling me I can do.
Yeah.
And you start to feel it, and then it's just like they excel so much quicker.
Yeah.
That year you went, is that when you got second, or was that when you got the finals and then you came back the next year in seniors and got second?
Yeah, the next year. So we came back from Worlds, and in the lead up to Worlds, I started to deal with a bit of a back injury. So coming home from that, we rested a little bit, and I had also just like freshly turned 18 before Worlds, and obviously the lead up to Worlds, I didn't go out or anything. I actually left school in year 10 because I hate school, and I knew nothing that I wanted to do I was gonna get from school. So I left in year 10 and basically just trained full time. So coming back from the Worlds, I took some time off to rest and recover, slow down training a little bit, and also have a bit of a social life. And so I started to, I guess, go out and see what that was like. And I guess I learnt quite early on that my body hates alcohol, like really hates it. And after a couple of weekends of going out, I ended up in hospital and got really, really sick. I had rashes all over my body. They did all the tests, and I ended up with tonsillitis, glandular fever, and appendicitis. Yeah, so they say things come in 3, and I never do things half-assed. I'm always like, it's full on around here.
I'm going to run my body into the ground.
Yeah, so basically went in for surgery and got my appendix out. I also, TMI for the lads, but for the ladies out there, I also came off the pill that weekend, which I'd been on for 2 years. And from that point onwards, I my body like completely changed. I went through the recovery of getting my appendix out, which was like no training. I couldn't lift anything above 3 kilos, which absolutely killed me. I also was dealing with a breakup at that exact time with my ex, and that's probably when my mental health started to decline a lot. I guess just from obviously the breakup, and I think coming off the pill just really messed with my hormones, and then the surgery. I gained 12 kilos in about 6 weeks, which for me, I was a very lean, very, very lean athlete.